Live from the Bunker Studio in Red Books in the heart of good old Wexford town, broadcasting around the world on Wexford New People's Movement Radio. It's the Red Book Show. I'm Wally O'Neill, a disgruntled used book salesman. With me, Professor Steve Unicky, as always.
Yeah, hey Wally.
And we've got the Director General of the radio station, keeping everything going here, including taking in your messages.
Yep.
Tony,
Hi, Tony,
how are you?
I'm good.
And of course, you can get your messages into us. The very best way to do it is to visit our state-of-the-art website, WNPMR.com, where there's a chat room feature, and you can come in and you can ask us anything on that. You can even ask Steve personal questions.
No.
Very personal.
They're forbidden. Yeah.
They're there now. But let's get serious for a minute, because there have been renewed calls for a curfew in Wexford town. That's right. It's not the streets of San Francisco. It's not Baghdad. It's the dangerous Bohemia of Wexford town, the urban metropolis at night.
Yep. Clear the streets.
A place where gangs of youths,
Close down the
miscreants.
Yeah.
And I, for one, agree with everything they say. You know, but they're not going far enough. A 7 p.m. curfew? No. I'd say let's do 11 a.m. curfew.
Yeah.
Plus, no one leaves the house anymore anyway. They're all inside ordering off Amazon and watching Netflix.
You can have school hours, but right at 3 o'clock.
No, Steve, I'd go a bit farther. Because it's young people involved in this, I'd say let's petrol bomb the schools and burn them to the ground. Burn the schools. If we see anyone out after 11 a.m., we're going to crucify him on an ESB pole.
Down with young people.
We'll get hammers and nails. We'll go around. We'll set up teams to start doing that. And I'd say any businesses that are left opened on the main street after this, we should just go in and we get some of those Ukrainian drones to bomb them. You know, take them out. Firebomb. Well, what did they do in Vietnam? Napalm. We'll napalm the main street. It's the only answer. There's no other way. Things are out of control. Things are out of control, Steve.
We have to destroy the town to save it. That's what they said in Vietnam.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because we don't believe in curfews. Because introducing a curfew, while the big problem is the dying state of the main street and the collapse of retail, might not be such a good idea. You know, maybe...
For the record, I'm not disparaging young people.
No.
I remember when I was young. Yeah.
I think we've great young people in this town. Earlier today with Rory and Zach on WNPMR. We've brilliant. We have another young man, Connor, bringing out a book of poetry. He's only 17 years old, following in the footsteps of Eva Byrne just a month ago. There's not many towns that can boast having 17-year-old poets bringing out their first books.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We've great young singers, great young comedians, great young bands. So no, I'd be against the curfew. And maybe if these people got off Facebook for 5 minutes in a day and actually used their brain to think, they'd be against it as well. So,
I agree.
Steve, will we jump into the old book news for this week? Get off our soapbox.
What's been going on? Well,
we have a few things to talk about, Steve. Unfortunately, Jeff Bezos doesn't come up, so I think
what?
Deirdre has reminded me she starts every poetry gig by mentioning Gaza, so I think it's only right that I should start every Red Book show by reminding listeners of what a terrible human being Jeff Bezos is and how much damage he's done to book selling, to bookshops, to communities that centered around bookshops, and indeed to wider retail. And that's before we get into his connections to AI and the fact that AI is being used as part of the military industrial complex at the moment, basically blowing the hell out of children all around the world.
Yeah.
So thanks, Uncle Jeff, for all of that, you murdering prick. So on to it. A $2 million debut crime novel has been pulled over fears that AI may have helped write it, Steve.
I think you got to pull it.
This is a really interesting story, though. Call Me, I'll Hide the Body by Jerry Fallad. It was being pushed as the book of 2028. People were already talking about it. It had just been picked up by Minotaur Books after an auction involving 14 major publishing houses, and Minotaur were happy to pay $2 million to have the rights to this book. Crazy. And this, Jerry Fallad is a first-time author. This is a debut book,
Yeah.
which is absolutely incredible. But at the 11th hour, Fallad's literary agents came in and pulled the deal, saying that,
How exactly did he use AI?
well, this is the thing. They are saying that they were no longer able to be sure how the manuscript evolved from origin to completion. And what they're saying is they believe AI may have been involved somewhere along the line. So they're not saying that AI was used to write this book. They're not saying AI was used to write any of it, actually. What they're saying is that AI, it seems they're saying that AI may have been used to brainstorm with. It may have been used
create
to
story ideas and scenes.
it may
and
have
so
been
on.
used to give critical feedback during the process. It may have been used to, I suppose, maybe it was used to rewrite parts of it. I'm not sure. They don't specify that. But I suppose it's an interesting thing, Steve, because you're somebody who has been published, but you didn't go through a major publisher.
No.
But it has been commonplace for many years now that major publishers will use ghostwriters and a whole literary industry to rewrite books and to guide authors to what they actually want.
But isn't that different? Because if you have a ghostwriter, a lot of times a ghostwriter is acknowledged or credited, so and so with so and so.
Sometimes, I think readers of
I
James
guess
Patterson novels might say
sometimes
that
not,
it's not
I guess.
always. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
but
I have a bias toward human beings, though.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be okay at any point to have AI do research for you if you were writing a?
I wouldn't do it.
No.
I want to do my own research so I know what's going on, what happened back in the time I'm writing about, and I'm become as knowledgeable as I possibly can be about that. I want to have that knowledge.
What about giving AI the first draft to have a look at? And
I wouldn't do it.
No, you wouldn't do that either.
I wouldn't. No.
Okay. We have a text message in on our live chat, WNPMR.com, from Pippo, who says most ghostwriters are never acknowledged.
Okay.
I
sit corrected.
And you can't trust AI either. It can lie. That's very true. That's very true, Pippo. So you agree with that book being pulled anyway, Steve?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah. If you were offered $2 million, no, we won't go down.
No, they wouldn't make a difference, actually.
Well, in other news, a Russian attack on August 1st on Kharkiv destroyed a third of Ukraine's books for this year. The attack destroyed 8 million books, representing 28,000 titles, including 600,000 school textbooks.
All I can think about is Edwin Starr, something like 1971, wrote a song called War. What's war good for? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. Say it again. Yeah. Absolutely nothing.
No, I agree. Russia, this wasn't a mistake either, because when I read this first, I thought, well, maybe a drone went wrong. But Russia has consistently attacked Ukraine's publishing infrastructure, and most insidious of all, they have targeted publishing houses where school books will be printed.
They're attacking the culture of Ukraine. That's pretty well established.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. Now, Steve, here's one for you. What is a book? What is your definition of a book? And before you answer, let me tell you what a few other people said. So Sartre wrote, a book is nothing but a small pile of dried leaves. Emile Nothomb said, a book is a detonator that makes people react. While Stephen King said, books are simply uniquely portable magic.
I kind of agree with Stephen King. I haven't come up with my own definition just off the top of my cap here.
Yeah.
But I'd go with Stephen King's definition more than anything. I think books are definitely magic, and they're definitely way beyond the material of the book. The value of the book is what people put into it and what they get out of it.
Well, the French government are asking the public what they define as a book, in order to consider how they're going to go forward with their VAT rate on books. Currently, that sits at 5.5%. And I guess I'm not privy to what the French government are thinking. They haven't rang me up and discussed this with me before the show. But I guess what they're trying to work out is the VAT rate being placed on things that are not actually books. And dangerously, of course, depending on what the public come back to them with, they may also say, well, maybe we don't need this low VAT rate on something that is no longer being consumed by the general public in such high demand as it was.
Yeah.
Now that is, of course, I will say France are very, very ahead of the curve in how they treat their indigenous book selling industry, the same as they do with everything else. They still have corner shops, they still have cheese shops, bread shops, milk shops, wine shops. With during COVID, they protected the bookshops in a way that I don't think any other country on the planet did. They've constantly set barriers to stop people like Amazon coming in and completely pillaging the market. But on this, they're actually behind us because Ireland has a 0 VAT rate on books, which is actually as a result of a Charles Haughey government, I believe, who also brought in that artist tax exemption, two very popular progressive things.
Yep.
But are we in danger that our government and the French government will eventually just say we don't need to have an exemption on something that is no longer considered so culturally important?
I haven't really considered that question, but I think that would be very foolish to basically write off books and say that they're not like in demand anymore.
Yeah,
definitely still in demand. Your shop's going great guns. I come in here some days. People keep coming in.
Yeah.
And I start to have a conversation with you, and somebody comes in and said, I'm looking for this book. There goes the conversation, right? But you're a busy man in here many days, and that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. And young people are, despite what some booksellers have told me, particularly older booksellers, that young people don't want to read anymore. That's completely wrong. I've always argued it's wrong. But young people are the champions of physical media now. And unlike what happened with the music industry, where CDs kind of collapsed a bit, there's a bit of a comeback now maybe, and Spotify took over. Jeff's hopefully his incompetence prevented that from happening with the Kindle. It just wasn't accepted in the same way, or maybe people just realized Jeff was a horrible man.
There's something that's probably, I haven't quite figured this out yet, right? But there's something probably different about books, whether they're online books or physical books, and music. And Spotify has got a lot more sort of clicks and everything and activity and listening to music because it's easy. You want to hear a song, you just put it on and listen to the song. Whereas with a book, you have to put the effort in to read the book. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it all out, but somehow it makes sense that Bezos hasn't made the same amount of headway as Spotify.
Absolutely.
But I'll think about explaining that next week, maybe.
Okay. Well, Steve, are you familiar with the works of Elena Ferrante?
No, I remember I told you I thought that she was an anarchist economist from Italy, so I was way off the mark there.
Well,
tell us about
you may not be off the mark, because it's possible she could be that person you were thinking of, because the big thing is no one really knows who Elena Ferrante is. She's never given a live interview, and she's never revealed her identity. She argues that the author is not necessary after the book is completed, and she rallies against the cult of the author. And there's a slight possibility that she may be actually a he.
Mm-hmm.
So Elena Ferrante is a global literary phenomenon, listed as one of the 100 most influential people in 2016 by Time magazine.
Did they put a photo of her?
No, they didn't.
That's interesting.
But that name is a pseudonym for somebody who has kept their true identity secret for over 30 years, since striking onto the literary scene in 1992. In 2016, Marco Santago published a paper suggesting Naples professor Marcello Marmo was Ferrante. Later that year, a reporter named Anita Raja, a Rome-based translator, as Ferrante. But in 2017, a team of scholars and literary historians came together using computer technology to try and prove once and for all that Raja was actually Marmo. And what they found was startling, because the writing did not line up with samples of Raja's writing.
Uh-huh.
But somebody it did line up with was samples of Raja's husband, Domenico Starnome.
Ah, okay.
So the theory is that maybe Raja is Ferrante, or maybe Raja and Starmone are Ferrante. Maybe they're as a team. Both of them, they totally deny any involvement in Ferrante. So if any of our listeners have any information about that, maybe Pippo, I know he's spent a bit of time in that neck of the woods. Maybe you could send us in a message to WNPMR.com. The chat room is opened. And hello to Liam, he's there as well. The French market has always been a law unto themselves, Liam says. Vive la France, Liam. Vive la France. We're going to have a piece of music now.
All right.
We are. Tony's going to fire it up. Bring it up there, Jamie. So it's this is Better by Jackson.